Hello friends, hello YouTube, how are you guys doing? Rainbow here, and another little video which is going to be more of a tutorial kind of thing. Last year when I built the El Rayo LS19, link's going to be somewhere, a lot of people ask me how I achieved that icy looking paint job going like from the white to all the way through the blues to the black, and I told them that it's a watery acrylic wash kind of thing, and I received a commission request for pretty much the same paint job on the hammer shot. So I decided to do this little tutorial on how I did this, so I'm going to let you guys in on how this works. So what I will be doing is I'm going to explain to you my setup right here, and then I'm going to time-lapse a video with the camera just up there to, you know, give you an idea of how this is done. So for the setup, we do, like I start with a base coat like that, and we're going to go from white to black. This is not necessary actually, because I'm going to paint the entire blaster, but it'll forgive mistakes easier, because if you just have that grey, you really have to cover everything. If I'm just having a thin layer of blue, the blue will still come through. So this will make it nice and easy. So this gives me an idea of what I'm going to do. I have my colours set up here. It's kind of white, a lighter blue, a darker blue, and a black. And then we're going to mix several of these. We're going to be using bigger brushes. So there's a, like, what is this? A Citadel, it's a wash brush. Can this focus? No, it can't. Citadel wash brush and a Citadel base coat brush in this case. So they are color coded, so these are the colors of the brushes. That's what I'm going to be using mostly. And I'm not going to worry about the detailing on the blaster for now, so I don't have to use smaller brushes. I can just go all over, and it's going to be quick-ish, still going to take some time. The most important tool you have is a wet palette, and for those of you who don't know what that is, it is a base where you put your paint on and it's going to keep it wet. In this case, mine is I've made this just, you know, by myself, do-it-yourself kind of thing, and all it is a sheet of baking paper, and it's a really soaking wet tissue underneath. That's going to keep the water for at least about 8 to 10 hours, and that's on top of that. And I have it set up in this plastic box kind of thing that kind of runs down that way, which is great because I have excess water down here, which is intentional because then I don't have to go to my water over there all the time. I can use the water from here to mix the colors. So I'm going to be putting all these colors in the front here, and then I'm going to be mixing them on top of here using the water driplets there. And because it sits on the wet surface, it's going to stay wet. That's why I call it a wet palette. So that's how you make one, nice and easy, and that's all there is to it. So yeah, now I'm gonna flip it to the camera up there, that one, and then we're gonna do we're just gonna make this happen. Enjoy. Alright everybody, that was it. So that was 2.5 layers of hand painted to get the shading and everything, and now I have to let it dry. So overall it took me about 1.5 hours of just pure painting with a little bit of curing time and wait in between. And yeah, so this is what we're looking at so far. There is the one and there is the other one. Let's try and put them next to each other. There we go. And that's looking pretty good. You'll notice like little things like that. They're not meant to be completely identical, you know, because it's an ice crystal idea behind it, and they never ideally symmetrical and identical if you split them in half. So that's why this is intended to go further forward than it is over here. But as you saw earlier, the lines kind of like the shells where they connect, you have the lines and everything. And the downside with this sort of painting, you can still see like it's still wet, like it shimmers up there and everything. This is very wet now, so there's like 2.5, 3 layers of wet paint, acrylic paint on it. So I have to let that sit now for at least a day and not touch it before I go and do the details. But yeah, that's what's required with this sort of style of painting. But you can get really nice transitions, and like with these ones, you could go even smoother than that if you wanted to. Use thinner brushes and everything. But this is kind of the rough style because it's a crystal, an ice crystal. So this is, I'm loving this. This is perfect how it is. And yeah, so with this in mind, there's going to be some details added to this one. There's going to be pictures of that on my Instagram, so make sure to go to the link in the description and check out the Instagram. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are amazing. Make sure to check out my Instagram, my website, and if you want to, make sure to check out my Patreon account. It will mean the world to me if you support me on Patreon, because that secures that I could keep doing these things. And also, there's a bunch of tutorials and build videos and also little tips and tricks on this very build on my Patreon, so make sure to check that out if you feel like it. And other than that, I'll see you on the battlefield. Love and sunshine, my friends. Ooh, and by the way, let me know in the comments if you like this kind of tutorial style time-lapse video, and I might be doing more of these. Alright, love and sunshine, I'll see you soon.